Does it not make absolutely no sense to you that a lone individual walked into a home packed with people, cars covering the driveway, to commit this type of senseless act? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. And if an open conversation is something you prefer, then this is the place for you. Welcome to the point, so let's talk about it.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Grant Clarkson, 9184, raised a very valid comment in one of my previous videos. Did the accused not have any sense of risk management or liability at being seriously injured going into such a situation? This is a valid question because are we not told Brian Kohlberger is highly intelligent? Were we not told that he scouted the home? Were we not told that he was working on his doctorate in criminal justice? So the risk of doing something like this by himself with a edged weapon is highly risky. Would he have not known that there was a good chance he would have got caught, and that there was a good chance some of the roommates would have woke up, and there was a good chance that he may have to eventually fight his way out of that situation and have to do this without leaving any witnesses around and having the authorities not called in a more timely manner? This is, at the end of the day, one of those things a lot of us who have doubts and are raising questions wonder, from specifically all of y'all who are certain that he did it. Now, while there are channels out there who don't really like somebody who has an opposite opinion to what they're making a video on, this is not the place for that. In fact, I encourage all points of views and opinions. And more than likely, if you are one of those individuals who has a different opinion of mine and commented such on one of my videos, I more than likely have responded. And I was pretty nice about it, I would like to think. But what rational person will walk into this type of scenario with only a single-edged weapon? A logical mind wouldn't necessarily do that. And for those of y'all who don't know what risk management is, that is the process of looking at a scenario and saying, okay, what can I do to make this less hazardous or dangerous for myself? And you implement certain mitigating factors, like you pick the time, you pick the destination, you pick how you're going to go about it, your entrance point, your exit point. All these things that could lead you to making a mistake, you try to eliminate. So if you're one of those individuals who is beating their head against the screen when they come across a video like this saying, look, he did it, he had a screw loose, he didn't care about the risk, I agree with the prosecution that if he's let loose on the streets, he's going to do something like this again. Let me know down in the comments below. But as far as we can tell, there is nothing in this individual's background that leads anybody to believe that he has a screw loose. He was a highly focused individual. He clearly had to be. He had already finished a master's degree and was working on a doctorate. It had seemed that he had turned his life around. It seems that he processes things rationally and logically. So the question of what rational and logical individual would willingly walk into a scenario like this does deserve some sort of answer. It deserves a conversation at the very least. I mean, we're told he scouted this place. Some have used the word hunted in interviews. So now are we saying he had a particular target and he scouted the home, he knew who lived there, he knew their movements, and he picked the absolute one time when every single individual who resides in that home would be there, to include one guest who is a over 6 foot tall young man? That just isn't quite making sense. So if he scouted the home and it was him, would he have not known that this might not be the right time to commit this type of act? There's too many people there. And yeah, that circles back to a previous conversation about, is this first degree? I know everybody had said that's why they put burglary as one of the charges, and that makes these incidents fall under the realm of first degree. But if Brian Kohlberger did plan this, it seems to me he planned to go about this act at the absolute worst time, when the home was full of people. And it doesn't seem like somebody who is rational and logical, who knew how to weigh risks, would do something like this, at least not by himself. If you see any of this differently, you can absolutely let me know down in the comments below. But I thought that was a valid question and a really good comment, and I figured we'd take a few seconds to talk about it. But other than that, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. Y'all stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.